Hi there, and welcome back. Let's have a look at how we turn on the diagnostic shading on this and see which shader does what. So let's go into visualization, diagnostic shading. This is where this pops up. I'll make it a little bit wider for you so you can easily see what I'm doing here. So this is with the shaders turned off, which is this option here. It just shows you the patch layout, let's say the wireframe, if you want to put it that way. The multicolor shader goes into a pretty simple shading. It's a software shader, and here you can just pick surfaces and go into the color of them, set it up however you want it, and that's it. And then you can set up these parameters here and link everything to the camera and turn on some reflections. They're basically studio reflections, and you can choose these scenes here. So we've got a showroom, a hall, basically an industrial hall, if you want to see it like that. These are default environments. An evaluation, which means that you'll have some zebra shading there, combined with the other shader. Then a diffuse one, softer lighting, looks pretty nice. And then we have the abstract one. That's it. Now, the random color is cool because it shows you all of your patches. So it randomly colors everything in so you can see where you've got different surfaces. Pretty helpful. So the next one would be the curvature evaluation. This is an interesting one because you see some things are not adding up here, and there's a really good reason why. This is linked with the visual normals of the surfaces. So if we go in here onto surface edit, with visual surface orientation, you will see there's a tiny mistake there. It's not homogeneous, meaning that you need to have everything either yellow or blue, not both. So what you need to do is just simply select, so lasso and select the surfaces, and they get turned the correct way. So let's do that. Or you can click on surfaces. One easy way to do it is go into ortho views, do a big selection, and it turns everything you get to pick in that view. So this makes it pretty fast. Okay, now if you don't have backing surfaces, you will be also selecting things that you might not want to select. So that's when you go into the nitty-gritty and turn the model by hand. Make sure that you turn everything as it should be done. There you go. That's it. The final surface here. There we go. Here we have some holes that should be patched up sometime soon in our tutorial series, but that's not the point here. So now everything is homogeneous, as you can see, except this one. And the insides of the tires are okay to be yellow because we don't have any rims to cover that up. Now, let's go back into curvature evaluation. There we go. And now you see everything is adding up nicely. See this peak here, then we've got a bit of a peak here, then we've got some acceleration, that it's homogeneous. It's not, everything is linking up. So this is helpful because you can check your modeling, the quality of what you've done, and you'll see where you've got problems. Here we're rolling in a lot, here as well we're accelerating in a lot. Here it's a negative surface, to put it that way. It's similar to these ones, so you can work with these sliders. You can pull them and start adjusting how things look. So you can control these areas and the way it's displayed. The next one up is the ISO angle, which is basically the zebra shading that is static, which I like the most because it helps me evaluate the surface quality in any angle, so it doesn't move with the model like this, you know. So you've got the next one, the horizontal vertical one, which moves, which will help you sometimes hide away some mistakes, because you just turn the model in a different view and suddenly some of the mistakes are not visible anymore. So try not to cheat, because you're cheating yourself. If you want to make it in this industry, you have to be good at what you're doing, and you have to be, in order to be good, you need to train, you need to be honest with yourself and see where you're making mistakes and keep pushing so you're improving everything that you're doing. Not about getting away with shit, basically. Sometimes what we do can be shit as well. That's the hard truth about that. Now, the next one would be the surface evaluation, and this is really cool because this is also linked with the visual surface orientation, but it can help you determine draft angles. So you will see these settings here. You can set it for deviation map, contact analysis, whichever you want, whichever you need, but it's really easy to use this to set up draft angles on some parts. So when you're done all the work that you needed to do to set up the parts, to split them and all, when you're talking about molding and model making, this tool will come in handy. Next one up is the texture. So we've got this nice shade sky, chrome shader, some would call it. It's cool because you can set up use these environments. So showroom environment, this horizon looking thing, it basically sets it up looking in a chromey shader, if you want to put it that way, in different environments. It's nice because it's easy on the eyes, especially this one. It's natural. You see where you've got the sky, so surfaces looking upwards, surfaces looking downwards, let's say more neutral areas, and it helps evaluate the model, and it doesn't deter from looking at it because you've got something that's quite abstract. It helps your eyes to read the model, but you're not looking, oh, I don't like the color, or I don't like that style of shading. It's a bit more neutral in this point. From this point of view, it's taking away some of that bias there. The next one is the light tunnel. So this one can be set up so your light tunnel goes up or down. You can use the manipulators on it, pull the car into the light tunnel, and this helps with evaluating your model easier. It's similar to paint shop setup. So we've pulled the manipulators. Now let's scale this up. Let's pull it back there, down there, and you can see also surface quality there. That's what you can evaluate basically. It's very similar to a light tunnel in a paint shop. The next one up would be the clay shader, which is also useful because you see something in a very homogeneous shading, and it's easier to evaluate curve, tension, edges, and basically the modeling quality that you're after. The line quality, everything is easier to see when your eyes are not disturbed by other things. Okay. Now, this isophoto is also something similar to the ISO angle. You can set them up with a higher count. It's basically a simple shader with the lines of the ISO angles on it. The more you bring in, the more you can see. This is very similar to the way you see some people evaluate the surfaces in ISIM. Yeah, similar thing to this one. Cool. So the next one would be the VRED, which I'm not going to use because I'm not familiar with it. Then the next one would be Viz1. This is basically your hardware shader where you go into the shader lister, you set up your shaders basically however you want them. It's not the topic here, but you can set up different shaders. You can just click on plus, you get a new shader. You go into the settings of it, the color and glossiness and all these little sliders which determine your color, and then you can assign those by either drag and dropping it onto the surface, or you pick some surfaces and then you click on that, assign to object, whatever floats your boat. So that's the Viz1. Viz2 is the same thing with the light, with the reflections on them, the zebra shading on them. And Viz3 is combining the industrial hall, the environment, with Viz1. And all of these three have access to the environment editor. They have their own environments, and Viz1, you can also see that my car is floating above the ground, and I will go into the environment editor. I'm using shadows there, and on the ground plane we can adjust its height. So now I brought it higher up, so when we're looking at the model, it looks like it's actually sitting on the ground. So have a go and play with these things, play with them, find your own style of how you would like to look at your models, and yeah, just keep having fun with this. That's what I have to say. And then you can save it all up here to preferences, and then you know it's always going to stay the same way. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in my next ones. Take care.